What's up, guys? Eli here, back for part 2 of my 2021 new release purchases ranked video. We're just going to pick up where we left off with the last one. If you didn't watch that, I'll just kind of restate. The way I'm doing this is the same way I did it last year in 2020. I just took all the new releases I bought this year that came out in 2021. I put them all together and I ranked them, from the ones I like the most to the ones I like the least. It turned out to be around, I think it was 33 albums. And also, just to mix it up a little bit, I include splits and EPs. I just don't include like greatest hits or compilations or live albums, but splits, EPs, and demos. Those are all included here because I think it's kind of fun to mix it up a little bit. So, anyways, we'll go ahead and get started with. We're doing like 22 through 12 or something like that. So, number 22, we have Mayhem, Atavistic Black Disorder. This was an EP that Mayhem did this year. When did their last full length come out? A year and a half ago, something like that. Anyways, there's not a lot of new material on here. There's one new track, and I gotta say it was pretty good. I actually quite liked it. Then there were two tracks that were recorded during the sessions from the last album, but didn't make it on the album. And then it's got like 3 punk covers, and this is where it's kind of interesting is. The vocals on each of those punk covers are like old Mayhem vocalists. You got like Maniac, and then you have Messiah doing vocals on one of these songs. He was like their first, I think it was their first singer ever, first or second. I don't know. For any of you that don't know a whole lot about Mayhem's history, I mean they were a band for a good while before they put out Death Crush. I mean they started in like the early *80s. So I mean they had multiple vocalists, before Maniac ever came around. A lot of people think Maniac is the first singer, but he's not. They had other guys before that. But Atavistic Black Disorder comes in at my number 22. It was pretty good, but I mean I'd rank it higher, but it only had one brand new song. I guess I had 3 new songs, but not enough to make me rank this real high. Number 21, we got the new Darkthrone album, Eternal Hails. I'm a big Darkthrone fan. They are one of my favorite bands of all time, especially in the black metal genre, even if they don't really play black metal anymore. I think it's funny that every time they put out a new album, people try to talk about how much closer they are to becoming a black metal band again, or if the vocals are just a little bit grittier. Oh, Darkthrone are playing black metal again. No, they aren't. They have not been playing black metal. They still aren't playing black metal. That really annoys me when people talk about new Darkthrone albums. However, this one wasn't lumped in that category. This is mostly a doom album. I would call it like a doom, old, gritty, heavy metal type stuff. Thought it was good. I did not like it as much as their last album, and that's why this didn't rank higher. I thought it was good. I certainly didn't think it was great. Album number 20. This one's a split, so this is where I guess it gets kind of interesting. We're going to talk about the Vrenth Depraver split. Vrenth are a U.S. black metal band or death metal band, fairly new, really really good. Some members of Ruin, which you guys all know I love Ruin, but I like Vrenth a lot. In fact, I liked this band a lot before I knew they had Ruin members, so that's good. That's been pretty cool. So the Vrenth songs here are really good. The Depraver songs I didn't really like that much. Depraver are a black thrash band out of the U.S. So yeah, worth it for the Vrenth side, and you might like Depraver, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just personally, I didn't really care for their sound, so I hate to say that because I almost never bitch about bands on this channel, and I'm not bitching about it. It didn't really do a lot for me, so. Number 19, we have Asfix with Necroceros, I don't know. I like Asfix a lot. Like them a lot. They're an amazing veteran Dutch death metal band. I've always liked them. I just feel like this is possibly the weakest album they've ever done. I feel like the last album didn't do that much for me. The 2 before that I really liked, and I wanted to like this a lot. It just didn't. It wasn't memorable for me. There are some riffs and stuff on here that make it. It sounds like they're trying to be Bolt Thrower, which is fine. There's something wrong with that. I don't know. There wasn't a lot on this album that stuck with me, which Asfix usually excel in that area. But yeah, Asfix, Necroceros, just wasn't a big fan of it. Number 18, whoa, sorry. I'll try to keep it together here. 18, we got Self-Hypnosis with Contagion of Despair. I've only had this for maybe a month or two. It kind of industrial death metal type stuff out of the UK. Two guys from the band Esoteric, which are an amazing funeral doom band. It was a pretty good album. I didn't get to spend a lot of time with it. I only listened to it once, and to be honest, I really enjoyed it. But it's really not my cup of tea. I'm not a big industrial fan. But I wouldn't really call this an industrial album, though. I mean, this is definitely a metal album, doom metal album with industrial touches and death metal touches, and it is good. Maybe if I had more time to spend with it, I would have liked it more. But clearly, it's almost sitting in the middle for me. So I mean, I think that says I liked it a decent amount. So yeah, Self-Hypnosis, Contagion of Despair. Number 17, we're going to do Carcass with Torn Arteries. This is the Carcass, the first album since Surgical Steel, it's been a while, but 4 years, 5 years, something like that. They had an EP out. Was that EP out last year, or was it this year? Anyways, the EP I thought was really good, actually. I probably like the EP a little bit more than Torn Arteries, but, and I didn't have a lot of time to spend with this either. I only listened to it a few times. I tried to squeeze in a couple more listens just to hopefully like it more. I just, I like it. I think it's good. It doesn't have a lot of staying power with me so far. Sorry. Number 16, we have we got Cradle of Filth with Existence is Futile. For a lot of you, a lot of people don't like Cradle of Filth, and that's fine. I totally get it. I've always been a fan of theirs. Probably since I was 18 or 19. I do buy everything that they put out. Sometimes I love it, sometimes not as much. I don't think I've really hated anything they've ever done, but they have had some kind of lackluster albums. This one, I would say this one's pretty good. I didn't like it as much as the two previous albums. They set the bar kind of high with those, to be honest. I like this one far less than those. Still, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, this was kind of a this still kind of has that like mid to late 90s sound, that they had on those last two albums, which is arguably when they were at their best. One thing that, yes, it made the album pleasant to listen to, but it was kind of, I don't really think it fit, at least for me. There was a lot of guitar heroics on here. There's a song on here, and maybe even more than one song, where it's almost all out prog metal, like Symphony X type stuff. That's just, that's cool. I'm a fan of, high, tight musicianship and guitar hero shit, but I think that it doesn't really fit Cradle of Filth, at least not the Cradle of Filth that I want to hear. Still, a pretty good album. Interesting artwork too, right? Okay, so yeah, Cradle of Filth, Existence is Futile. Number 15, we got... can't remember where this sits in their discography. I don't think it's their first release, but we're going to talk about Celtus Blut with The Lost Art of Twilight. Celtus Blut are an American black metal band, and I really did listen to this one quite a lot this year. It kind of sounded like classic Scandinavian black metal, but with kind of an American touch. And that's how Rick from Dreadful Minutes put it. So I'm kind of plagiarizing him, but I'm using that because I really did agree. If you like Norwegian black metal and you like some modern American black metal and you want to hear those put together, and you might like this. So Celtus Blut, The Lost Art of Twilight, on tape here. Very nice album. Liked it quite a bit. Number 14, coming to an end here. Number 14, we have, and I'll admit, I just got this in the mail a couple days ago, so I haven't even shown this, on any of my new stuff videos. And I've only listened to it once, but I wanted to include it on this list. So it is a little rushed, and this isn't super accurate, because had I had more time to spend with it, maybe it would have ranked higher, maybe it would have ranked lower. But we're talking about the Ruin Thy Feeble Savior split, Fucking Apocalypse. I've talked about Ruin way too many times on this channel, one of my favorite current American death metal bands. Thy Feeble Savior, one of my favorite current black metal or black death type bands. Big fan of both. So yeah, fucking Apocalypse. There you go. And let's see, where are we? 13. Number 13. We're going to go for, this took a lot of debating where this album was going to go. But yeah, number 13, we got Iron Maiden with Senjutsu. I'm not going to talk about it too long. I mean, this was a very polarizing album for fans and metal fans and Iron Maiden fans and pretty much everybody. I totally get it. A lot of Iron Maiden fans are going to praise something regardless. And I am a longtime Iron Maiden fan, but I'm not going to praise anyone when they don't deserve it. And so I'll be honest, I wanted to dog on this album way more than I possibly could. But I ended up liking it quite a bit. Yes, it's too long. It's at least 20 minutes too long. But the songs on here that are good stuck with me. I don't think it's as good as Book of Souls, but it's close. It's not as good as... it might not be as good as their last few albums. But I'd put it maybe close to like A Matter of Life and Death. I put it somewhere next to that album. But, you know, like I said, I wanted to find flaws, and I did. But I didn't dislike this album as much as a lot of you guys did. I also, you know, I couldn't possibly put it in my top 10. But anyways, Iron Maiden, Senjutsu at number 13. And last but not least, number 12. This is a case where I had to rank an album fairly high just because I knew it was a good album. I didn't love it, but I liked it. And I know a good album when I hear it. And I have listened to this band for a lot of years, even though I've never been a huge fan. But anyways, we're going to talk about Helloween with their self-titled album, Helloween. I had to put it on top of... originally, I was going to put Iron Maiden over it. But I just couldn't do it. I knew deep down inside that Helloween made a better album than Iron Maiden did. And this album, I still thought it was a little bit too long. I think maybe 5 or 10 minutes could have been shaved off to make it a little better. But it's a good Helloween album. I like this more than... I haven't bought a Helloween album in a long time, but just from what I've heard, you know, online and stuff, I've liked this more than the last good number of Helloween albums I've listened to. Like I said, granted, I haven't bought them. I don't own any Helloween stuff, except for their very early material. I've never been a huge fan, but it's just a really good album, and I can see why the diehard Helloween fans absolutely love this. You're going to probably see this on a lot of top 10s, maybe even top 5s, especially on power metal and traditional metal fans. This is going to rank high with a lot of people. So, and I think it deserves a high ranking. So, anyways, that's all I got for now. Like I said, I think in my last one, I definitely want to do a better job at buying new releases in 2022. I want to start paying more attention. A lot of good albums here and everything that I acquired this year, but just way too mainstream. I need to go back underground where I belong. So I want my 2022 list to be, way less mainstream than it is this year. But still, I find these videos kind of fun, even if they're a chore. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. I got one more coming for my top 11, and I'll probably do that tomorrow, if not the next day. So thanks for stopping by, guys. As always, we'll talk soon. Cheers.